everyone, it's Char from Char's Fashion Nation. And while I'm here sewing some buttons onto this jacket that I've been working on, we have a Spoopy story time. So, as you well know, birds, not just from the movie from Alfred Hitchcock, he had some spoopy going on there himself. So, while we're doing this, I want to show you, or telling the story, I want to show you my little trick on how to get buttons perfectly matched on both sides. Wow, like perfectly matched, right? Like, how do we do this? So, first of all, you want to take your thread, right? Take it through this side. And it's not going to go through on the other side. That's the thing, you got to make sure that it only goes through on this side at first. And then make sure this don't happen. You gotta make sure that does not happen to your thread, because that's spoopy by itself. So, migration, right? Migration. Hold on, let me adjust myself. Okay, like what I was saying, migration. When birds go to migrate, right? It can be quite fascinating, as one might think, that it might be a little strange. Okay, here's how we can do this. That birds themselves might actually terrorize a territory. Why? Why would they do such a thing? Okay. Well, your house might be in its way. This is true. Your house might be in the way of where that bird flies. Every year, let's hope we don't poke ourselves here. There we go. This is one of my little trickies. Now, just hold the buttons together like such. Bring that back through. Because here where I live, right, like every migration season, when either they're going north or south, it's like an Alfred Hitchcock movie, no joke. Serious, no joke. Yeah, I might insert some video somewhere along the way of what it looks like here in South Jersey when birds are migrating or kind of confused. So let's say like with all the changes or radio frequency, a bird might get a little confused on frequencies coming through your lines. So what does this actually do to a bird, and how does it affect it? Well, one way that it affects a bird is in their migration process. It tends to set off their natural GPS to go the wrong way. Let's put it that way. So, we've actually had birds smash into windows in this house. This has not been an uncommon lately. Depends on the angle of where you live with their migration. Okay, but now towns have been terrorized by birds. Like I said, much like in Alfred Hitchcock's movie, Birds. That might be multitasking right there, doing this. And I am using a dark brown shade, which sometimes is what I do on purpose. Okay, sometimes I take a little spool of thread, a bobbin of thread. A spool is a bigger thing. A bobbin of thread, and try to match it as close as I can to what the button is. This seems to work. It's very dark brown. I like it. It's very rustic. So anyway, like I was saying, birds and their migration and high tension lines. Why do birds land on those? How many trees have been cut down? Where does our wildlife go? Think about this. Birds are part of wildlife. But when it's all crows, right? I'm not complaining that it's crows because I'm a crow knight. And so, yeah, there's no complaint about that. Crow knight is Templar. So, okay, this is one thing that I do. We're going to bring this back through here, but we're not bringing that back through the button. Okay? I don't know how well you can see that, but I know the lighting is not all that great today. But we pull that right through here, and then we go like this. Now, I have some other sewing that I need to do. That'll be like quickly done that I probably won't get to do a video of. And that's fine and everything. This is how I make my knot. I go around that 3 times and tug that. Okay, there we go. So like I was saying, I don't know if I'm going to have a knot left on here for another one. So we will clear that. Now, I want to show you what I've been using to like mark where the buttons go on the jacket. You probably see it better on the orange side. Yes, right there. Buttons. So anyway, these birds, and let's not lose our garment here. By the way, this is a very warm fabric, and I got this from Fabric Mart. Very comfortable, very light, very easy to wear, very easy to work with. That's why I'm making this a double-sided jacket, and I'm making it more rustic on one side than the other. The collar, the same way. When you have it on this part, and you want to fold your collar down, then it's going to have that contrasting orange. It's going to be reversible, kind of like these birds in their directions. And then I've been loving, I heard Morgan Donner refer to these as, like, pinchy claws. Pinchy claws. Is that a new Santa? Anyway, I love these sewing clips. They're very easy to work with. It's kind of like a chip clip for fabric, or your I suppose if I had to dry clothes on a line, you could use this, but I do not. So this obviously goes on one side. This button goes over here. Your matching button, as you just saw me do, right here. Right here. Oh yeah, you can kind of see that. Right there. Anyway, so let me thread that and then we'll be right back. Maybe I can get better lighting. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, you know, towns are constantly terrorized by birds. Where I live, it's no different. We are always terrorized by birds during every migration, whether north or south. And like, you can be sitting in, and I know this is scary, this one telling you this. You could be sitting in your living room during the... See, I gotta talk about this, and a bunch of geese go flying over. Should they not be migrated already? Look, I know I live in the south of a state, but holy crapness, like, these birds should already be migrated? Yeah. Pretty freaking much. They should already be migrated. So, it's like, you're sitting in your living room minding your own, and all of a sudden, wham! A bird hits the window, and you're like, oh, crap, what was that? Oh, yeah. Now that I can show you why I use these as a marker. Because I want every so many pattern parts down, and then that was my holding spot for where to put the next button. Button, who's got the button? My guess is on the witch. By the way, that's a quote from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And some other thing. I used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Anyway, and you know what? That's a great example. In one of the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right, on set, they were actually bombarded by what? Birds. Oh my gosh. There have been so many movie sets, and I'm not just talking about Alfred Hitchcock movies. There have been so many movie sets that have been overwhelmed with birds, right? Because the studios did not think about... Holy crap, there was just a face outside and it wasn't mine. Like, I always tell you guys, like, listen real close in case you hear something weird other than me in my video. Because sometimes there's some spoopiness going on. I said these migrating birds. Okay. There's, like, some movie sets where they will be overrun with birds. And it's not just the fact that they had that for their movie. Okay. There have been homes in several states where, like, there's this one lady, this poor lady, I don't remember what state she's in. I think it's Michigan or it's Minnesota. Starts with an M. Like migration. So every year during migration, this poor lady, she basically has to shut the flue of her fireplace, even though it's cold that time of the year, because these birds will go flying down her chimney and into her house. Now, can you imagine this? Like, you're just trying to mind your own business, go about your day, and there are just like thousands of birds trying to get into your house because they're confused. Because that was generally a location of migration for their species, right? Like, yeah. And, go over here. Back over here. And when I come back through this one, that's when I'm going to go ahead and take that knot through the other button to make sure that we can angle this correctly. And if we can't, then we'll figure out how to do that. I can just take it. No, I have to take it through here. See, this can be a little bit difficult. Kind of like these migrating birds that get a bit creepy. Yeah, so can you imagine this poor woman, right? Like I said, minding her own business, trying to live her life, and birds just swarm her house in like droves. And the poor woman is terrorized by this every migration, right? Can you imagine having to physically and mentally deal with that? Like, how draining would that be for you to have to deal with all these migrating birds? I mean, this poor woman. I mean, so we deal with it here, and it is creepy. It is scary. Sorry, my nose. I'm allergic to bullshit. Maybe that's why my nose is itching. Take this through. Another buttonhole. Maybe we could finally get this finished off. So let me get that part finished, and then we'll come back. Okay, so if you can't get that needle to do what you want, just bring it back through, because like the darker button will hide that. And just, this is the third knot. Not that I'm trying to end it weird. But okay, like I said, I will insert video that I took today, right? And so that you guys kind of get the feel of what I mean by weird actions of bird migration, right? And how these birds are just like the F all over the place. Like, it's like, what the F? Yeah, you got the buttons here. Then you've got the buttons here. And they match so well, right? Hold on, I'll take you over here. Might be better lighting over there, but sometimes I have to sit at the table instead of my desk. I mean, they're both different heights because of my back. I have to do that. So hold on, let's take you over there. So, okay. Now you might be able to see those buttons better. Not by much, but you can see these ones. And you can see these ones. I don't know why the lighting over here wouldn't be better. I really don't. As there is a lamp. Hold on, let me raise you up higher. So now you can see the buttons a lot better. I don't know, I didn't want to show my mug today because I don't got my face, no makeup on. So, okay. Now you can see this button better as well. So that is my little trick for doing this, even though I gotta trim a few threads away. Don't dread, just clip away that thread. Don't pull on the thread. That is one thing. Do not pull your thread. That is a mistake, to pull the thread. I know sometimes I will, but it's not on something like this. Like I was saying, these birds, right? It's crazy. The other thing you want to do is like trim up your ends on stuff. So I will be going back over and like trimming ends back and making it a lot neater. So that's going to look a lot better. So anyway, like I was saying, bird migration, right? It's crazy. Like hitting the window, bam. And I was like, a couple of months ago, I was like, yo, what was that? First of all, we didn't know what it was. We did not know what it was that continued to fly and hit the window. Hit the window because you're not seeing it at first. You're not hearing it. And what happens with birds is their sensory projection, aka bird GPS, gets set off different anymore. Anybody remember that Japan tsunami earthquake that actually tilted the Earth by 10 feet. We'll have a science video coming up soon to explain a few scientific factors on stuff people forget about. Science with Char. Coming new to a device near you, of course, on this channel, because we're fascinated with everything. So let me show you this real quick. Hold on. It's warning, it's too small for my body. This originally was going to be for me. Now it is for my friend. She's way smaller than me. Jessica Johnson, you are my petite. So the only other thing I have left to do on this is add buttonholes, right? Contrasting on the other side where the buttons are. Do some sewing on the cuff. Maybe roll it back, and then you have like this, the same thing as the collar. That kind of gives it an accent, the cuff, and I think that looks kind of cute. I know I'm going to end up doing that because of the way that the collar is if you fold the collar back. So we'll make the cuff match. And then add the pocket. How am I going to add the pockets, you might ask? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match them up on both sides and then hand stitch them. And she'll have inside and outside pockets no matter how she wears this. It is super warm, super lightweight material, very easily worn, rustic, very rustic. It is meant to be rustic, especially for a friend that works in an environment where it gets cold. Or she could even wear this as a warm shirt because she is my skinny friend that's a skinny mini. Anyway, as we migrate towards warmer clothes, think about how these birds are migrating and do a little research. If birds fly around your community that same way and they freak people out, look at the ley lines of where they migrate. Because if that happens where you live and it gets a bit spoopy, you might want to look into the science on why they migrate through that area that way. This is going to be like super cute on her. I just wish I wasn't so big. So let me know politely in the comments below if, like I said, your town has this issue with bird migration, that they basically fly and hit your windows. A lot of cars get damaged because of this. There's a lot of other things that go into that may cause a lot of damage in townships or small towns, cities, and all that. It can be very scary. Like I said, I will insert at the end of the video birds, 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 birds. And it's creepy. So I'm going to show like clips. So with that said, I want all of you to stay spoopy and don't let that flight break you. See you.